you see this scene, it's a really wicked scene where Ron Morris plays this very, let me just explain this a little bit.
Cool.
So Shadowlords is something we've been working on since 2005 in New York. It started and it ended up in Minnesota. And Ron was one of the key characters that later has migrated and turned into a comic book part of the film. And now what we're trying to do is the short film that we did with this one, we're trying to turn that into a feature film based on the graphic novel. The graphic novel takes place here in Minnesota. It's a St. Paul specific, the Twin Cities. And if I had to put it anywhere, think Batman, and St. Paul as the backdrop. And these 8 immortal warriors that come from like all different parts of the world. And Minnesota is central to the plot of the story because it's in the middle, right, of the West. So the creative process of making films and then attaching to those films things that you are passionate about. Like, for example, I love Tai Chi and I wanted to make sure I showed it in a cool way in the film. And then Ron, being the health guru he is, and everyone knows him for kettlebells, at the time this was his thing. And I said, well, we got to put that in a movie. So we're trying to find a way to make this work.
I remember this.
And I said, hey, Ron, which size kettlebell can you swing, easily? And he starts kind of showing off, and he grabs like one that was like ridiculous size. And I was like, no. He's like, even if you could swing it, no, because I'm at the bottom end of that weight. Right, and he had to drop that weight on my head, and I had to like move my head at the. We did this for real. It was a real size.
Great. Oh, I know.
So I don't know what the size of the kilo was, but this thing was heavy. And Ron did like maybe 4 or 5
It was
takes,
dangerous as well.
But it was a zigzag, and then he had to fall straight back and just slam.
Well, I remember we tried using some fake ones, and that just wasn't happening, man.
Right. It was too light,
And my favorite part of this, if I may interject, was Jose had stabbed my eye with a nail, so I had to do all this with my eye and prosthetic, and I can only see one eye. By the way, don't kill your friend. You're the first guy I saw really live his life. And so that's an inspiration that people don't assume they'll affect other people. Now, Jose never sat me down and go, Ron, you got to live your life. He usually just said, Ron, how do you feel about crashing your motorcycle into a wall? Well, not too good. Well, think about it. But
he may do it in the movie.
Just think about it. Yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah, right? But I watched this guy teach really deep Eastern classes in Tai Chi. I watched him write scripts. I watched him do, without money or time, create money and time and finish his vision. Because what I learned from Jose, and this is really, really important, and it's an on-screen way for me to say thank you so much, is, just go ahead and do this. Right? If you really want something and you're willing to do the work, you can have whatever you want. This guy's living proof.